Good evening, guys. Thank you for coming to the August 5th business meeting. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are joined by 6 of our board members, our superintendent of school, Dr. Timothy Harney, our assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, Mr. Robert Haas, our assistant superintendent for finance and operations, Ms. Carrie Laughlin, our assistant superintendent for personnel, PPS, Ms. Emily Ekstrom, our district legal counsel, Mr. Errol McCarthy, our district clerk, Ms. Suzanne Benetti, and our student delegate, Kelly Bruckner. As always, there are 2 opportunities for the community to participate in the board of the meeting. The first is just the board that takes up this agenda, and the second follows the disposition of all agenda items. As always, if you'd like to speak, you must be a resident or an employee of the school district. Any other person must be authorized by a majority vote of the board. We ask that you keep those comments to approximately 3 minutes, and as always, you can see in the back, all of the BBP Blue Point Board of Education meetings are live streamed and posted to board docs, and you can follow the district at BBP School District. But at this time, we'll open it up for any new or old business. Not hearing any, we'll pass it over to the superintendent, Dr. Harney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mellon, and welcome everybody tonight. Just a couple of quick updates really for you. Obviously, we welcome back staff on August 28th, and then we have another superintendent's conference day on September 2nd, and then the first day of school for students will be Wednesday, September 3rd, so we're looking forward to seeing everybody then. But enjoy your last few weeks of summer. Hopefully you have a great time. Just also a reminder, we're going to be moving to a new communication really from the classrooms. Starting really once the sports season starts, Remind will be going away. We've been talking about it now for months, and a number of letters have gone home in regards to rooms through our platform Aptitude. So that is definitely going to happen. Just a reminder, if you have not downloaded the BBP Blue Point app, please do. You'll have more access to information if you do that, and it'll be much more helpful. So right now, it looks like we have at least, just about 80% of our families have at least one parent signed on through the website, which is tremendous. So hopefully we can get the other 20% in the next couple of weeks. Also, we have fall sports will be starting soon. High school football starts on the 18th. And then all other sports will start on the August 25th, and then middle school will start on 9/4. So those are things that will be coming in the near future. We'll also be sending home notifications, whether it be from the schools, regarding just normal practices and procedures. Also, within the next couple of weeks, we'll get out the transportation information. So just kind of be aware, a number of emails or letters will be coming home in the near future, just as we get ready for the opening of school. Also, the 25-26 calendar is just about ready. Within the next couple of days, we'll have that for everyone as well, so they'll be able to peruse that. And then really the last thing I have for tonight, which for our Board of Education, you'll see it later on, we have a recommendation going forward for our new library media specialist at Sylvan Avenue, and Carrie Perino is here with us tonight, so I'd like to welcome her to the district, and that is something that will be on our for approval later on tonight. So welcome, Carrie. We'll welcome you. So with that, I will turn it over now to Ms. Bruckner.
Over at the elementary schools, they'll share a message saying, "We hope that everyone is enjoying the summer. On these hot days, a visit to the air-conditioned BBP library is a great idea. Remember to keep reading this summer. Wishing you all a fun and sun-filled August." Over at the middle school, it is busy preparing for the upcoming school year, and we hope that you're enjoying the summer. We would like to remind the 6th grade families that on August 27th, 6th grade students are invited to come in and walk their schedule and set up their lockers from 9 to 11 a.m. We look forward to seeing you soon. Over at the high school this summer, our team has been hard at work redefining the master schedule to better support the student course requests and academic goals. We've welcomed new staff, provided targeted professional development, and ensured that our building is ready for the year ahead. Student engagement remains a top priority, and we're expanding our opportunities for academic intervention and enrichment. We're looking forward to a strong start and a successful 2025-2026 school year.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. At this time, we'll turn it over to Dr. Harney for two amazing presentations tonight.
Yes, so tonight we have two presentations that Mr. Haas will be giving. One is on our MTSS plan. That really is a 5-year plan, I would say. We will be entering year 2, so he'll do an overview of that just to let everyone know where we are. And then the second presentation is on internet-enabled devices, cell phones, smartwatches, iPads, things along those lines. As we know, the governor had passed law/regulations earlier in the spring about basically internet-enabled devices being cell-free and within the schools. So that is something we're going to go through tonight, and we'll share that information with everyone, which will be followed up by a letter from myself sometime next week, and then the buildings will follow up with their own procedures after that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Haas, and thanks for putting these together.
Thank you, Dr. Harney. As you stated, I'm going to be starting with the multi-tiered system of supports presentation, and this really is to, in looking at it, purpose of this presentation is just really to give the board, the community, an overview as to where we are as a district with the MTSS plan. As Dr. Harney had mentioned last Board of Education meeting, as part of the strategic plan, this is something that we have been working on throughout the course of the year and will continue working on and implementing over the course of the next several years. So as with any presentation, as with anything we do, we take a look at the priority areas that are found within the strategic plan to make sure that we are aligning with the community connections, the academic excellence, and the student experience. So really, just to get you started, in terms of the presentation, just to give you a brief overview of what MTSS is, the basic concept behind it is a proactive, data-driven approach for students from academic, behavior, and social and emotional needs and addressing those needs of the students. It integrates multiple levels of support or tiers of support, which you'll hear me talk about briefly in a second, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And it brings data into the decision-making that our MTSS teams are making in order to provide those supports for students, and then also to measure that those supports are working for students to start to reduce them, giving students more opportunities for experiences in other areas within the school day. So as I mentioned, the key components really do involve those tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 supports. I'm not going to go through them with you, but as you see, the level of intensity increases as you go from tier 1 being really education for all students to tier 3 with really focused supports. And this is going to be, as I'll mention again in a second, this is going to be a lot of our emphasis within professional development over the course of the 25-26 school year. So people would ask, why does MTSS matter? Why is it beneficial to a district? Why do we need it here in Bayport Blue Point? It's really to just increase that access for students to have supports within the district and making sure that those are focused supports. It does focus on early identification of students. It gives all those students access. And again, it starts to bring together your academic, your behavioral, and social emotional aspects together into how they all do have an impact on student learning. And again, our MTSS teams will focus, and teachers within the classroom will be enabled through supports that we've given them to make data-informed decisions that benefit the student. So when you look at the development process here for our district, we started this past year with a district-wide committee with representation from every school, multiple staff members from every school, and representation from our PPS department. We, as a district, decided to work with a company known as Branching Minds. And they provided, there's two components that they are helping us with. Number one, they provided us with professional development in order to develop an MTSS plan and the draft that we have at this time. Also, Branching Minds provides us with a data platform that will help bring various components of data together to help us make some of those data-informed decisions. The committee worked together throughout the course of the year to develop a draft plan that we will continue. That committee will reconvene over the course of the next school year as we begin to finalize that plan for full implementation in the 26-27 school year. So when you look at implementation for us as a district, as Dr. Harney mentioned, this is a 5-year process. We have just completed year 1. And that was the development of the draft plan for the 25-26 school year. And I just met with the building principals as we continue to hash out our plan for the year. We are going to be introducing the MTSS plan to the entire staff. And how we're going to do this is a couple of approaches. Number 1 is going to be introducing the MTSS teams on all operations of the Branching Minds platform. And we will have some professional development help that will come in and do that. Within that platform, we, at some point during the year, will look to pilot and expand the use of the platform, making sure that not only is the MTSS team, but also the teachers that are utilizing it are comfortable with it as we continue to expand, looking for a full implementation of the platform in 26-27. From the teacher standpoint, the overall teacher standpoint outside the MTSS teams, we're going to be focusing on professional development for all teachers. And we're really going to focus that professional development on Tier 1 and Tier 2. So not only what are Tier 1 and Tier 2, but what are some of the toolboxes at the individual levels they will be, the individual schools, they will be working with their teachers, the principals will work with the teachers on developing a toolbox for all. And at a district level, we're going to be focusing on 2 components, student engagement and differentiated instruction, bringing these together to overall help with the Tier 1 and help improve our Tier 1 supports within the classroom and even Tier 2. As we move forward, 26-27, as I've mentioned, we are going to look for full implementation of the Branching Minds platform and continuing with our professional development based on some of the needs that we identified throughout the course of this school year. And then in 27-29, years 4 and 5, we're really going to have to look at some assessment needs for our own capacity to see where our professional development and where we're going to go with the implementation at that time. But this is, as I stated, this is a 5-year process, so it's something that we've discussed at length, making a commitment to during that time to make this shift within the district. So as I stated, professional development is going to focus on the MTSS teams. Tier 1 and Tier 2 supports, that's really going to be for all teachers and staff members within the district. And then again, the Branching Minds platform will be an area of professional development that we will be looking at. So I know this is a brief overview of what we are looking to do over the course of the next 5 years, but I did feel it important to bring it to everyone, and then obviously we'll be doing updates through this over the course of the next few years. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Haas. Any questions from trustees?
Yeah, I have one question. So what kind of interface would this have? I can imagine what it would look like between students and teachers and administration and teachers. But what would parents receive? Would they receive like an annual update, or would they receive any sort of feedback from the system?
So depending on where the student is in the system, what level of support they're at, a Tier 1 students are Tier 1, they're receiving general instruction within the classroom. You're not going to see much from the parent side of it. What you would see is typical to what parents already see, just in a different form possibly, and we haven't even made that decision, and that really goes to our AIS progress reports that are sent. So any student who receives AIS supports, which would be part of this, and it really is where your Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports are, parents receive quarterly progress reports already regarding that. So what we would be looking to do is, instead of using the quarterly progress reports that we currently have in place, is possibly using the reports that we have that will be able to be generated through the new platform.
So would parents even notice a difference?
From a parent standpoint,
Yeah.
Well, I hope that they notice the difference, that they're going to see the improved instruction in the classroom, they're
Right,
going to see
right, right.
decisions that are made in data, and ultimately, what we've talked about a lot is, and this is in response to some of the questions and concerns that we've gotten, is students oftentimes, we get the comment that they feel they're in AIS and it's difficult to get out of AIS once they go in. Our goal with this, and one of the reasons we're bringing it in, is we want to really be able to focus those interventions even more for those students and ultimately get them out of AIS so that they can enjoy some of the other areas that they might not have the opportunity to.
Any other questions from trustees? Thank you so much, Mr. Haas. We'll move on to the next presentation.
Right, so shifting gears a little bit from MTSS, we're going to now just jump into our policy on internet-enabled devices that was passed at the July 1st Board of Education meeting. It's policy 5695. And really the purpose of this presentation, again, is to give an overview of where we are from the educational law that was passed as part of the governor's budget, and then what are the implications here within Bayport Blue Point, and how does it relate within our policy. So during this presentation, I'm going to give you just a little bit of background information with regards to the law that was part of the governor's budget, talk about the policy requirements that were in there that all districts had to follow, what was our process here in Bayport Blue Point, what are some of the key components to our policy, 5695, and then really what should parents, guardians, and students expect over the course of the next couple of weeks and then into the beginning of the school year with regards to it. And again, as I said with the MTSS, all of our presentations do take into mind and everything that we do looking at the priority areas. This one, the academic excellence and the student experience definitely play into these. So just a little bit of background information. As you're aware, the Internet-enabled devices component was part of the governor's budget that passed, or New York State budget that passed this past year. And Internet-enabled devices really does focus on, what you really think of with it is the smartphones and smartwatches as well. A timeline that was part of that is districts had until August 1st to adopt a policy that did govern this for within their district, which we did accomplish that. July 1st, it was passed here within our district. And in order to do that and prepare for that, districts had to consult with local stakeholders, included to representation from all your employee bargaining units, parents and guardians, and students as well. Okay, so within our policy, or what the state put forward within your policy requirements, number one, it talked about communication for parents and guardians to be able to communicate during the school day with their child. It also talked about a method of storage for cell phones or internet-enabled devices during the school day, and then allowances for certain exceptions. Within the policy requirements as well, it also talked about allowing students access if it's a part of their IEP or 504 plan. And finally, there was a discipline component that they did bring in there that stated that you cannot suspend a student alone for having access their cell phone during the school day. So within our own process here within the district, it did start with that stakeholder consultation. And we began and worked fairly quickly. We met, I believe it was 6 times during the month of May and June, and we had stakeholders representation from our bargaining units that participated in the meetings. We also did have students from both the middle school and high school that participated in it, and parents and guardians from all levels, elementary, middle school, and high school. Providing feedback is that the committee, what we looked at is we started with reviewing the language of the law, and then we started to really focus on what the recommendations from that committee would be with regards to a policy. And we made recommendations for policy implementation, including communication, storage solutions, and in the event there was a violation of the policy. So when we looked at our policy 5695, as I stated earlier, it was adopted on July 1st, 2025. A couple of the key components that you would see, the school day is defined from the entirety of the instructional day, so bell to bell, from the time that the school day starts to the end. So just for the high school, for instance, that is 7:45 to 2:29, 8 o'clock to 2:42 at the middle school level, and 9:05 to 3:25 at the elementary school level. School grounds includes everywhere that is considered our school property, both inside and outside the building, and then also field trips that occur within the school day. Okay, so if a class is going to the Bayport Blue Point Public Library, that is considered part of the school day. That is considered an extension of the school grounds. That bus during that time is also considered as well. During the school day, our policy, the communication that we talk about, if a parent or guardian does need to reach out to their child, they can contact the main office. The main office will then will get that child if they need to, give them a message. If they need them to call them back, whatever it is, they will work with that child to give them the opportunity to do that for their parent or guardian. And then storage, what we have looked at within our district and what's part of our policy is at the secondary level, we will utilize student lockers for storage. And at the elementary level, we will utilize student closets, and in the event that there's not a closet in the classroom, they will use whatever the storage device is, whether it's cubbies, things of that nature within the classroom. So when you look at us for next steps, obviously we have our policy in place. Next steps that you're going to see is a communication coming from Dr. Harney to the entire district, just reiterating what the new policy is. This is a shift for our students during the school day, especially at the secondary level, and we do recognize that. We want to make sure that we are being upfront with them and they understand everything going into it. Within the individual buildings, just developing that process that goes along with the code of conduct in case you do have violations of the policy and how we're going to work with the students on that. I will say, and the committee agreed throughout the entire process, is our students, we have tremendous, as we all know, we have tremendous students here in Bayport Blue Point, and with any shift that we've had in policies or code of conduct, things of that nature, our students have always responded very well to it, and we anticipate the same with this new policy. And then from a communication standpoint, the building principals, as they get ready to send out their welcome back materials, there will be communication within that as well. And then we will also, obviously, as the school year starts, follow up with the students, utilize social media, things of that nature. So for outside the school day, they see that social media, the promoting of that as well. Any questions?
Any questions from trustees? Not hearing any? Thank you so much, Mr. Haas. We truly appreciate it. Moving on to the consent agenda, are there any items the board would like to remove from the consent agenda and place on the regular agenda? Not hearing any, can I have a motion to approve consent agenda items F through K? Ms. Conley, second by Mr. Wright. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to gratefully accept the cash donation from Captain Marilyn Mason and Graham Mason Foundation for $8,000 going to the scholarship fund? Ms. Piritaro, Ms. Conley, as always, thank you so much. We truly appreciate any donation to the school district, and this will go to a deserving student. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We had a conversation at our last board meeting in regards to committee, so can I have a motion to approve the Board of Education committee members for the 25-26 school year? Ms. Conley? Second by Ms. Piritaro. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to approve the settlement agreement and release? Ms. Piritaro, second by Ms. Conley. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? And our last regular agenda, can I have a motion to authorize district clerk to destroy all used and unused ballots for the April 3rd, 2024 library budget vote and election? Ms. Conley, second. Ms. Piritaro, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? At this time, we'll open it up for the community members for any new or old business. Not seeing any, open it up for the trustees for any new or old business. Not seeing any, I just want to give one update. The New York State School Board Association, also known as NYSBA, Board of Excellence Recognition Program is designed to acknowledge those school board members who strive to continually expand their governance, knowledge, and skills. And we have a nice certificate for Ms. Conley, who has reached 75 points for ongoing professional development in 2025. Big round of applause for Ms. Conley. We expect 75 more. Any other trustee new business? Not hearing, can I have a motion to adjourn? Ms. Piritaro, Ms. Conley, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Have a great night.